Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. We just did Case's movie review of Caddyshack. Boy, go back to that one. Take a listen on the podcast. But last night, we had the exclusive Q101 premiere of Jackass Best and Last, the allegedly last movie of the franchise. One of the headlines, Jackass Best and Last. Rotten Tomatoes reviews cheer the stunt crew's final movie. I laughed so hard after eating a tub of popcorn for a family of 18 that I can't tell if it's the popcorn or my stomach hurting from the laughter last night.
Aren't you glad that we were all together in the theater last night to watch that movie? It was such a great theatrical experience to be with your friends, laughing at those friends doing those things to each other.
It's a reminder, because it was a TV show, that the big screen just does something different.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting in a theater together with people laughing together means something. And everybody, like even myself, might say sometimes, hey, I got this 75-inch TV, a sound bar. It sounds good at home. It's easier at home. But you get to the theater, it's just different.
It's just different. Absolutely is. And in Jackass Best and Last, for those that don't know, it's a combination of new stunts that are exclusive to this movie that you have to see in the theater, and then also archival footage, whether it be air horn at the golf course.
Kenzie's favorite Jackass bit.
My favorite
That is
as well.
my favorite.
Johnny Knoxville getting launched on the Red Rocket. There are so many good old clips that they splice in throughout this movie. And then it ends with, I'll say, this deeply emotional montage where you get to see these guys grow up one last time before your eyes. And it was kind of sad leaving the theater last night, just knowing that this is going to be our last experience with, Johnny Knoxville and Steve-O and everybody else.
I'm not trying to out him, but Giorgio, who works here, had a tear coming down his cheek.
I believe
at the
it.
end.
It moved me. Last week was the first time that I watched the first Jackass movie, but I'm a skateboard kid. I grew up with these guys. I love the TV show. Even at 27 years old, these guys have been in my life for my entire life. And it's very sad to see, a little bit older, a little bit more gray, a little bit wiser. It was emotional at the end of Jackass Best and Last.
I will say they've aged well for what they've been through.
Knoxville looks unreal.
He looks unreal. Wee Man looks great.
Wee Man looks like Wee Man.
But Kenzie,
So Bam Margera, he's not dead, right?
No.
Okay.
No. Sadly,
he's not in. Hold on, but
yeah.
he's not in the new one except for old footage.
Correct.
Yeah.
Why is that? Is there beef?
Yeah, Bam and Johnny Knoxville have had a very long and tenured history. Bam was supposed to be in Jackass Forever, which was the movie that started before the pandemic and was released after. Bam couldn't stay sober on the set of that movie, so he was kicked off. That led to a few years of great tension between those two. Bam's parents, April and Phil, were at the Jackass premiere this past week in Los Angeles, and they seem to be moving in the right direction towards eventually reconciling, but there's no new Bam footage in this movie.
And I believe he goes through it up and down. I follow a lot about Bam, but I believe he's sober now.
Yes.
I think he's gotten his stuff together.
I would say Bam is probably doing better now than he has been in probably 15 years since the death of Ryan Dunn.
Yeah, which was obviously tragic. And I hate to say it like this, but it's shocking when you see it again as how they've all made it to 50 years old.
It's amazing.
But they're all about in that 50 range anyway. And Kenzie, you got to go back and at least see the robot prostate exam at some point. You have to kind of.
I put it on my list.
I will say the other new thing that's old from '98, the hardware store prank.
Yes.
I almost hyperventilated watching that in the theater, and it was never unaired. There was a couple other things, too.
It was never aired because Johnny Knoxville got arrested, and I did not know that it led to MTV not being allowed to film in West Hollywood for 10 years after that. Yeah. The ramifications
my God.
of that bit were severe. And I know a lot about Jackass. I know a lot about CKY. I know a lot about Big Brother Magazine. I did not know that story.
That's unbelievable. They should lead with that.
Yeah, it is. It's really great. It's this weekend. If you just want to laugh your ass off, and the stupid fun, the nostalgia came back to me with hanging out with my buddies when you had to watch Jackass in real time. You couldn't go binge anything, and that's when Jackass was a show. You couldn't wait to go home and see the new Jackass episode on MTV, and that's what it brought back to me last night. I was laughing that hard. Good times, by the way, with your buddies, and we had some people checking in last night that they had the best time ever. Just good, fun, stupid laughing, and go see it this weekend, Jackass Best and Last.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
What are you taking away from today's show with Brian and Kenzie on Q101? Text in your takeaway, 312-967-8300. And since it's Friday, it can actually be a takeaway from the entire week of shows. Maybe something you thought about on Tuesday, you forgot to text it in, you can do it now. A takeaway from the entire week of shows with Brian and Kenzie on Q101 before we have Lauren come in. We got a lot of good music on the way as well. But first, it is the weekend Q101. So this is stuff that's going on in and around Chicagoland this weekend. Every weekend is stacked now, pretty much with festivals and music and where we're going to be, which I'll get to in a minute. But first, Case will start with the music, as he always does.
Yes, and before the music, I have to note that I'll be hanging out Sunday at Chicago Pride. I'll be making my way down that festival. I live in Uptown, so kind of right where that festival kicks off.
Yes.
I'll be hanging out there as I do every year. I hope everybody has a really fun, really safe time, and a happy Pride to all. That should be an excellent time on Sunday. Hopefully the weather holds up and is nice, because last year it poured in the afternoon during Pride.
So is it supposed to rain Sunday?
I don't know, but I feel like it rains every year on Pride now, so
Yeah.
I'm a little worried. But right now, no, 64, low, high 84. That's a beautiful day.
Oh, it's a nice day.
Get out of the house, get to the parade. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's an awesome event. A lot of people fly in for it. It's one of the biggest ones in the country.
Yes.
So certainly enjoy. And the after parties are where it really kicks, by the way.
I'm not invited to those after parties, but if you're at one of those, then I hope you have a great time there as well.
You're
they,
not
they don't
invited.
want me there. I'm there to show my support during the parade, and when the after parties come about, they go, maybe not for you.
I'm sure Kenzie got invites to some after parties.
People love Kenzie
Of course.
more than they love me, so I get it. As for the weekend, Q101, the music going on. Our friend Joe is at the Chicago Theater tonight. That show is sold out. That's going to be a ton of fun. His first time back in Chicago since Lollapalooza last year. Weird Al is at the United Center tomorrow night. I know a lot of people on the Q101 staff will be at that. That's going to be a super fun show.
We gave away a ton of tickets to that show.
We did. And then I also want to mention, this show is sold out, but just to put a band on your radar, there's a band called Widow's Peak playing Shubas on Sunday night. They have, to me, what is the best album of 2026 so far. If you like really hard on your sleeve indie rock, maybe you also like that new Death Cab for Cutie album or the old Death Cab for Cutie albums, I would recommend checking out that band Widow's Peak playing Shubas Sunday night. That is going to be a really good time.
So everything's sold out, kind of, right? It seems like.
You can take us to Weird Al.
Oh, Weird Al still has a couple.
Yeah.
That's why he played United Center, so there's always a few left.
Always a few left.
Yeah, 'cause
that's
I know-
what they say about the United Center. Always a few left.
Well, I know it sold well, so
Yes.
there's a couple left that I want to get to it. And Joe at Chicago Theater will be super cool. Really good, unique experience. Kenzie, what do you have for the weekend Q101?
I brushed on it earlier this week, but I just want to hit it one more time because I think it was absolutely fantastic. So Water for Elephants, the musical, is at Nederlander Theater. That's running now through July 5th. And it's an absolutely incredible show. If you have not read the book or seen the movie, you'll be caught up during the show. That is totally fine. If you've done both of those or one of those and loved it, you will not be offended by this version. That's happened to me before where I'm like, wow, they really decided to switch a lot of stuff up, and I'm a lover of the book or the movie, and I hate that they did that, and that's not the case. They stayed so true, and it's one of the coolest experiences I've had at a musical where it really is almost like a Cirque du Soleil show within the musical, because the concept of Water for Elephants is it's a story in the 1930s that's taking place at a circus. And I was so curious to watch that play out on stage. And they did have aerialists and animals, and it was absolutely mind-blowing. And also, I would recommend this one for kids. There's a love story, but really the show that's going on, they're going to be obsessed with. It's suitable for ages 8 and up. That's what it's rated. And it's only 2 hours and 20 minutes, including intermission, which basically means an hour intermission and an hour, which is not too long for a musical runtime if you are going to bring younger kids. And this stands out to me because usually if I recommend a musical to families, it's traditionally been like a Disney one, right? An interpretation of a Disney story, Beauty and the Beast, Frozen, things like that. So this is one, like an adult book that I actually think translates into a family night or an adult night. It's awesome.
I just want to accentuate, since you said July 5th, that is next weekend. So
Yeah.
it's
Is that a reminder for you?
well, for me, for everybody else, that a lot of times these things make month-long runs. This thing's only there for
About
another
2 weeks. They
Yeah.
had about 2 weeks in the city.
So if you want to see it, you got to get on it. You can't waste any time on this.
And it really is fantastic. I felt like a little bit of musical and a little bit of Vegas. It was awesome.
That's amazing. And after the show, this is one more thing that is sold out, but I just want to give a big thank you to Hickory Hills Country Club in Hickory Hills, Illinois. You sold it out. I'm so happy. Can't wait to get down there after the show. Going to head down the golf tournament's going on right now, but all of our great sponsors that helped out. And, Hickory Hills Country Club's been around over 100 years, and it is one of the region's Midwest premier challenging golf courses. So this was really a wonderful thing that you guys all got involved with, whether you were a good golfer, like I said, or not. It's a scramble. And not a snooty golf tournament, a stuffy golf outing. So I'll see you down there in a little bit, and all our great sponsors. I just want to thank everybody for signing up, because when we try, golf, I wouldn't say a different or a new thing because we've done golf tournaments every year, but this thing sold out. It makes me happy big time on that. So I'll be down there at the Amateurs Golf Tournament, and we'll get to your takeaways coming up here shortly with Brian and Kenzie on Q101 after Lincoln Park.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Got Weezer on the way, Glass Animals, no doubt, all on the way. Lauren, going to take you through the rest of this. Kind of getting gloomy a little bit midday here. We get to your takeaways with Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Case, what do you have for a takeaway?
Takeaway from Maddie and Lombard. First, they make M&Ms unsexy. Now they're going to make them taste like beets and algae. What are we doing here? What's going on?
Ask questions. Kenzie, what do you got?
Dakota texted in, takeaway, you can't have an attitude when you're playing easier tennis.
Wow. 50,000 people offended during the week. You'll find it on the podcast. And Peg checked in at 815. Takeaway, any ice cream is soft serve if you put it in the microwave. Thank you.
That is true.
What is on the podcast, Case?
On the Brian and Kenzie podcast today, Brian and Kenzie learned an important lesson in dry stroking. We also talked about injuries suffered while parenting, and it is Friday, and my movie review this week was Caddyshack. That will be on the Brian and Kenzie podcast if you missed it.
And also tomorrow morning, 8 to 10, we have our throwbacks, the funniest moments of the week. So hang on, Lauren is here, and she'll have you next.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.